The video you are about to see includes the real-life stories of women who wish to share their experiences of gender-based violence. Their stories are presented by actors to protect them. Along with several critical stakeholders, we open the door to provide you with a glimpse of those narratives. Welcome to When Love Goes Wrong.
He raped me when I was 7 months pregnant. The doctor was shocked how much tissue damage I had. The only reason I didn't scream is because my 23-year-old daughter, she was right next door. He went from being a friend to a narcissistic monster.
Leaving doesn't mean the abuse ends. It is in fact the most dangerous time for a victim or a survivor.
One time I had to get 3 stitches. I went to the police to get protective order, but they were saying to me that I had to wait till I come to court. So the case never got called or heard. Even when I was pregnant, he attacked me in town. I went to the police again, asked for protective order again. They told me I have to go to court to get the protective order.
So when you do go to the police station, yes, the police do have the authority under the legislation to issue an emergency protection order. Women do complain that they do ask for these orders and they're not granted. The police are more inclined to ask you to return on Monday or whenever the next working day is and go to the court and have the court deal with the protection order.
But that ain't making no sense to me. I gotta wait till my case get called to get protective order.
But what normally will happen, especially if the police are concerned about the victim being exposed to violence, they will go back to the residence with the victim, they will warn the perpetrator, and in some cases, if it is necessary, they will detain the perpetrator, at least over the weekend, until they have recourse to get into court on Monday.
I went to the station again. He was charged. But I ain't never went court.
What I also tend to advise victims of domestic violence is try your best, if possible, not to return to the residence where the perpetrator is.
I called the police. And you believe they took their sweet, good old time to get here, even though they were only 3 minutes away. The police officer explained everything. He said he would have to go to his workplace and arrest him and cuff him.
Ma'am, you really want us to go to the bank and arrest this man?
When the relationship ends, the abuse doesn't stop. It just transitions to a new form of abuse, referred to as post-separation abuse.
My husband started sending emails to my boss and to HR. He posted stuff online. He turned up at my work threatening me. I spent so much time in HR because they saw all the craziness. It seemed like the stronger and the more independent I became, the angrier he got.
Perpetrators target victims' workplaces because generally they know they will find them there, and employers bear some of the burden of intimate partner violence, including lost productivity, medical care, and mental health services.
I applied for legal aid, but my attorney didn't even bother to turn up. The magistrate said that he would not delay and that I had to defend myself and cross-examine my abuser. I had no clue what I was doing. He said I needed to honor the sanctity of marriage and that I needed counseling. I remember hearing a policeman laughing. He had come to the house one time when my husband was abusive. But he knew my husband and they did nothing. He was in court smiling. And later, he came to me and said,
"You is a pretty woman. I would do anything for you. Just call me."
So again, it's the need for the whole of society approach. All of the levers have to work. So you have the legislation, you maybe review the legislation every 5 years. You do the consistent training of the police officers and the judges and the magistrates.
Cap 138 is the most significant piece of legislation that we have in Barbados as it relates to protection of victims of domestic violence. There is no other piece of legislation that covers the range of violence or that offers the range of protection that Cap 138 provides. So for example, you will have your restraining order, and within that restraining order, you can have orders that prevent the perpetrator from coming onto the premises. If the perpetrator lives on the premises with the complainant, you can have orders that evict him from the premises. It also does assist with preventing financial abuse or stopping financial abuse, because we know sometimes perpetrators are breadwinners, and generally speaking, once they're asked to leave the premises, they may not wish to continue paying things like the rent or the bills or supporting the children. And under Cap 138, orders can be made so that even if the perpetrator is no longer at the premises, he or she is required to continue to pay the rent, to pay the utilities, or to even maintain the children.
This lady told me to go to legal aid and see if you could get money to support the baby. I believe the magistrate tell me that he can't force you to give me the money. And you know, he'd had 2 jobs.
The different profile of the victim survivor as compared to other crimes. But nonetheless, it must be important that police and judges treat to the underlying elements as crimes. So this is assault, this is battery. And so working and engaging as, my larger goal here is that I'm addressing a crime, but that in dealing with the persons affected by that requires us to be nuanced in our approach.
We challenge you to be a cycle breaker. Interrupt the patterns, challenge the norms, change the conversation, break the cycle. If not for your mother, father, sister, brother, relative, friend, then do it for our children. Let's change the future for them.